What is going on, DeRosa Insiders community? It's Matt Faircloth, and welcome to the Cash Flow Digest. Like I said, my name is Matt, and I'm coming at you on YouTube. I'm coming at you on Facebook. I'm coming at you on the private, but exclusive, yet also free. DeRosa page called DeRosa Insiders that you too could go and join and be a part of the cool kids that are part of that community. Hundreds and thousands of people, thousands of people are part of the community. And they're there talking real estate shop. So why aren't you one of those folks? Get on there over to DeRosa Insiders on Facebook. But if you guys are watching anywhere you're watching, including on LinkedIn, which we're going live on as well, wherever you are, we want to be too. So we want to chat with you guys. So give me a little quick shout out, a little hello, a little happy Friday. If you guys want to wish me a happy Friday, would love to hear from you. So give me some comments. Got lots of folks piling into the room now. We got a great show coming at you guys today. Today's show, we're going to be doing an interview with the one, the only, the wind in my sails, my muse, my inspiration, my reason for living, maybe a little too much butter there, but my wife, Liz Faircloth. We're going to be talking about the real estate InvestHER community, where it came from, how it was founded. You guys need to hear all about DeRosa, all about the origin story of InvestHER. It's a very inspiring story, and you want to hear about what InvestHER stands for. Cannot wait for today's interview with her, and that. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for joining us today. Guys, today I want to talk to you guys about something really interesting that's going on in today's market. The last couple of years in the multifamily and real estate world, rents went up a lot, like, in some instances, 15, 20% in some of your major markets. Examples: Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Raleigh, Charlotte, keep going, Denver. A lot of the big markets in the United States, top tier markets, experienced really, really high rent bumps. And what's funny is the rents in those markets are actually starting to soften up, and there is evidence of record concessions and rent drops happening in markets such as Phoenix and Dallas that perhaps hit the roof. I don't know, they're not going to crash, but they maybe are going to see, what do you want to bet, like 5-10% correction in rents? Not so, guys, for secondary markets in the United States. And that's why I wanted to comment on today's article of the day, today's current event. And this is real data that rents in secondary and tertiary markets, not Raleigh, not Charlotte, not, make up another one, Washington, D.C., right? Not those cities, but secondary markets that are perhaps close enough. Like, for example, not Raleigh, but maybe Rocky Mount. Not Raleigh, but maybe Greensboro or Winston-Salem. And that, of course, not Charlotte, not downtown Atlanta, but maybe one of the many burbs around Atlanta, or even Savannah, right? So, and I could keep going, right? So not the market itself, but the tertiaries around those major metros are seeing high rent bumps in that. So and I think that's just like it's like the pebble falls in the water, and then it kind of spills out. No, those rent bumps that we're seeing in tertiary markets are not the same as we've seen in primary markets. And maybe that's okay. Maybe we don't need to see 10, 15, 20% rent bumps, but maybe it's okay to see 5-6% rent bumps in those tertiary markets. And I think that's interesting. That's why DeRosa talks to our students, and we're actually working on some really cool tools for you guys to enjoy that are going to be some free tools that are going to be telling you about tertiary markets you can get into that benefit from the rising tide of being next to a major metro, but are not going to ride up and down like major metros do. A lot of major metros have done this the last 5 years or so, and a lot of major metros did this. Like I was investing in 2008, and I saw Miami go like this, and then in 2008 go like this. So did Las Vegas. And you guys could think of other markets too that were like that. So major metros are great when you catch them at the right time, because you could double or triple property value in short order just because you're in a really rising market. Or you could be in a market that's on the way up or on the way down. You're pretty riding a roller coaster, so to speak, when you invest in major metros, which is why DeRosa does not invest in major metros. We invest in secondary and tertiary markets, because we believe those markets can benefit from the spillover from those major metros without seeing the fluctuations as well that those markets do. Check out today's article, guys. It's going to be giving you guys some good tips and good data, real data on everything that's driving it, everything from supply, demand, to even investor interest, investors coming into markets like that. Maybe you could be one of them. So check it out, guys. There's the article posted on the social feeds. And if you guys are watching this program on Spotify, you can just jump over to DeRosa Insiders on Facebook and grab a copy of that article as well, which is posted in this feed. See you there, guys. Now, guys, I want to talk to you about because I want to go off script a little bit here and just mention to people that are watching. We've got a phenomenal product that's coming out, and this is for accredited investors only, and that is the DeRosa Income Fund. Let me tell you why I love the DeRosa Income Fund and why I am a personal investor in the DeRosa Income Fund myself personally, and of course our company, controls it, and I created it. I'm the architect, so to speak, of the DeRosa Income Fund. It is my brainchild. And why I love it is it allows you as an investor to get exposed to real estate without being locked in. And it's okay to invest in syndications that are 3, 5, or maybe even 10-year holds, maybe a little bit longer in this day and age. You might not be able to catch a big spike and double your money and then get out like we did the last couple of years. So syndications may become a longer hold, and that's okay to be a part of your portfolio, but you certainly don't want to be invested in only things that are illiquid and only things that cannot be sold anytime soon. That's why we created the DeRosa Income Fund, number one. And secondly, we created the DeRosa Income Fund for the purpose of creating something that had liquidity and also compounding, right? So you can't, in a syndication, it's not like I can buy a 100-unit apartment building with a group of investors and then take their cash flow that I give them in distributions and reinvest it back into the property and buy more shares. It's not like I'm building more units. There's no more of that 100-unit apartment building to go around. It was bought for a fixed number, and it is a fixed asset that has a value tied to market. The end. It's not an open fund that you can recycle your money back into. Not so for open funds. The DeRosa Income Fund is dedicated to providing short-term loans for projects that meet our company criteria that what we live for is to transform lives through real estate. So the DeRosa Income Fund is all about investing in projects that are transforming lives through real estate. So that's why I think the DeRosa Income Fund is a phenomenal investment vehicle for compounding returns and the ability to have liquidity, right? So 100%. I think that's something why you guys should check out. And what's great is you guys can now, there we go. You guys can look at the DeRosa Income Fund and hear what we have to say here. The phenomenal growth it's had. It actually just had a 10% month last month. A lot of the capital that's in DeRosa Income Fund is healthy and is recycling back in out of loans and going into new loans. So whether you want to architect your own fund and want to hear how we've done this, or if you're an accredited investor, and most importantly, if you have a self-directed IRA, if you're accredited with an IRA, this fund is for you. This is why we designed the fund in a lot of ways. And so we're having a webinar. Nabiku, please make sure that the registration link for next Friday's webinar is there in that link that you're posting, because I want to make sure that people can get over to the DeRosa Income Fund webinar that we're having next week, I believe it is. So we have a link there, DeRosa Income Fund DeRosaGroup.com/diff. DeRosaGroup.com/diff. And Nabiku, just make sure if it's not on that link, make sure that the registration page to register for next Friday's webinar also gets posted, or you guys can just go to DeRosaGroup.com/diff to join the webinar. Hope you guys join us. We're opening up limited seats for the DeRosa Income Fund, where it's currently sitting at $5 million in value and in investments. We're going to be opening up another $2.5 million before we shut it down again. So hope you guys can join us on next Friday's webinar. See you guys there. All right, guys. Now we're going to be bringing in, bringing on our guest for the day, Liz Faircloth. Let me just give you guys a brief intro here. Of course, she's my wife, and as you know, I'm totally tainted and biased here because she's my lovely wife, and I believe in her, and I love what she's doing. But I also want to tell you how passionate I am about the movement she has created in just the absolute phenomenon that is the real estate InvestHER. We're going to be talking about that in today's interview. We're going to be talking about how anyone, including men, can get involved and why it's important for all people to consider the rising tide of the woman investor. So without further ado, let's hop into the interview with Liz Faircloth. Faircloth, welcome to the Cash Flow Digest. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is Liz, my wife, and her second time appearance in the Cash Flow Digest. Liz, great to see you. And it's like I have the white background studio, you've got the black background studio, so we have a nice little
I
contrast
know
going on
we
here.
got some contrast here.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to talk to you today because we have a interesting subject that's something that I know is of course near and dear to you, and it's become very near and dear to me watching your journey in building this thing. And that is the phenomenon that is the real estate InvestHER. Let's start here. Why is there an InvestHER? Why do we need an InvestHER? Why isn't there an InvestHim? Why should InvestHER even exist?
Yeah, I can give the reason why we started it 6 years ago. And I also share a little bit about what's happening right now and where there's important note. Here's the bottom line. I think we're given this, I don't know what you want to call it, like we're handed this theory that knowledge equals action. And I believe that that's not true because we all know what to do. We all know how to lose weight, but yet people struggle with that still, right? For a lot of different reasons. So the knowing is not going to create the action. It's actually the community. So what we believe is that knowledge plus community, a safe community, equals the action that you'll take. So what we found with InvestHER, and the reason why Andressa and I started it, was to create a community of women who you have this safe space that women can ask the questions, get the support they need in a fairly male-dominated industry, if you will, when it comes to investing. We went to, and you know the conference I'm talking about, Matt, but we go to conferences, we go to meetups. I'd feel like I'm the only woman there.
Yeah.
I get along very well with men. I work with men, no problem with men, absolutely. But there is something very special of creating a space for women so they get and give the support that they need and live life on their own terms based on the challenges and issues that they're working through. We believe that it's a woman's birthright to become financially free. So we've created a community with knowledge, right? Content to really create the ability for women to take the action they need to take control of their finances and build wealth for themselves.
You've educated me, and yes, all very noble, right? But from a man's perspective, men look at this and say, well, can't women just figure it out? Can't they just read Rich Dad, Poor Dad like I did and go off and start the real estate investing journey and all that? Why do they need a community? Because there's an implication there that the playing field's not even, or that women need different things, or there's a different rule book, so to speak, for a woman entrepreneur. And I know that's true because you've told me that. And I've just seen it in firsthand witness, right? What are some of the things that are different, right? That women need a different level of growing up in entrepreneurship than what a man would need. Just in real estate investing, in our industry, I guess just tapping further into what are the things that the real estate investor and communities like it can deliver to women that just going to your local RIA right down the street wouldn't be able to do for you.
Yeah, I have a few things, Matt. If you said, okay, why is this even necessary, right?
That's what I'm really getting at.
Women, quite honestly, women couldn't open a bank account in 1974, which was not that long ago, right? I can keep going. Women don't actually make the same amount of money as men. Then you go to CEO roles. You go to very different areas, the stock market. Investing, statistically, women are not as confident investing, yet they outperform men as investors. So traditionally, there has been a lot of gender inequalities. No one can dispute that. There was a point women couldn't vote. We can keep going, right? We can keep going on this long list of gender inequalities. But that's important to state because what we're creating is gender equality on the financial side.
Yeah.
And when women have choice in finances, they can make choices in their lives. So that's the why behind it. Investing, when people say, think of somebody investing, they'll still think of a white man. I'm sorry, that is still a traditional, they'll think of Wall Street, they'll think of a white man.
Yeah.
So what we're creating is a different landscape to say, the women are under the radar. They're investing. They're doing this. All types of women, all ages, all ethnicities, all types of women. All women who look differently from each other are doing this. We're creating a spotlight so other women can say, wow, those women are doing it. I can too. The story that goes back to Oprah Winfrey. Here you have a young woman, African-American, growing up with a lot of challenges. I'm not going to go over her history. She wants to better herself. She wants like a big life for herself. And she sees Barbara Walters, interviewing other people on TV. That's a big deal in that time. And Oprah Winfrey was a child at that time. Saw another woman interviewing and said, I want to be like that too. And that's the same thing we're creating. That's why we have our InvestHER Con, where it is just women speaking. I know you're doing a workshop, but women, so it's really about seeing yourself and other people with the same challenges that women deal with.
Yeah.
And I can keep going on with that laundry list.
Well,
Men have their own challenges.
they do. Yeah, and we sure do, but that's a different story, right? And I want to unpack something, expand on something that you said about women statistically. This isn't just Liz saying this, being more effective, better performing investors than men are.
Yes.
We don't need to unpack that any further. Just to, hey, men, understand that. And that's probably because women are probably better at due diligence and all those other kinds of things. And they're better at vetting. And they don't look at this whole thing as gambling like a lot of men do, investments and things like that. So all that aside, there is a changing tide. There are advantages that are flowing more and more towards women in the investing communities, such as their ability to make better investing decisions just intrinsically because of a lot of reasons, right? Help us unpack that, right? The changing tide that's happening for why men and women need to pay more attention to the woman investor, whether you're a male vendor that there wants to serve a women community or you're a woman yourself trying to rise in the women investing space. What are some of the things that are changing that are going to completely, I think, from what you've taught me, flip upside down and create a lot of upheaval and a lot of phenomenal opportunity for women coming into investing or that are thriving in investing already? What's changing?
So a few stats for you, right? Number one, in a traditional relationship, which not everyone is, but let's just go with, going to give you a traditional statistic that would impact that. Women outlive men. So the chances of women, I'm sorry, Matt, me outliving you is higher. It just is. It's a statistic, right? So that your money will need to last longer, right? The need for money, the need for creating stability in your life, not just stability, but abundance. No one would disagree that that's a need, right? For our futures, especially for the 40 to 50-year-old demographic, right? That's what we're thinking about. That's what we're mindful of. That's number one. Number two, in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll also say currently women control $10 trillion of the US economy, right? That's going to 30 trillion in the next 3 to 5 years. So what that means is there is a wealth transfer happening. That can mean that for a lot of different reasons, inheritance, people are dying, women are controlling more and more wealth of their family, of their unit, their family unit, if you will. You see more men maybe taking care of different things on the home front. Women are growing businesses. It's still a variety of types of families, and to each his own. But you see more than ever, there's more single women owning property, buying property than single men. These are facts, right? I'm giving you facts and statistics. I'm not making these things up. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons that, again, if there's a wealth transfer happening and a money transfer happening, and women are going to be sitting on more and more wealth, the question is, are they confident in making decisions and not just handing it over to some other person who's going to make the decisions for them? That's what I love about real estate investing. That's what I love. And women are smart. They're very good at vetting people and situations. They just, I think the key piece is that community that they can bounce off of other people doing it in a safe way. The other element to all this, Matt, is that when women are doing things in groups, that really creates an economic opportunity for all types of companies, right? Because women are going to be investing more. Women are making more of the financial decisions. They're your customer. We're not a niche. We're no longer a niche per se. We are going to be the customer. So whether you're marketing to women or you are a woman or you have young children, it's not like this random group of people, right? It can affect everyone. And if you really tap into that, and what do women care about, right? We don't care about the Ferraris. The number one reason women invest in real estate is because they want to create generational wealth. They want to be able to create a legacy. That is the number one reason.
Yeah.
So knowing these things, I think, it will increase revenue and customer base for all types of companies, even if you're not a woman yourself.
Just to underscore, you can't say this now, $20 trillion are flowing to women in the next 10 years, right? It's going from 10 to 30, you said, or 10 to 20.
10 to 30 trillion in the next three. Yeah,
got it. So that's $20 trillion and in a short amount of time is flowing to women, right? So if you are a financial planner, if you're a real estate investor, if you are a wholesaler, if you're a real estate broker that sells multifamily, whatever it is,
it's important to note.
Yeah, it's important to note that, because the probability of your next customer walking into your door being a woman is becoming higher and higher, right? And so the getting in front of more women, understanding what women's needs are and how women are going to vet deals and what they are going to want to see for financial opportunities is going to become more and more prevalent. So yeah, probability of somebody looking exactly like me, white man walking in your door 20 years ago, 9 out of 10, right? That's who that's going to be for an investment offering. But it's way different today, and it's going to be even more different tomorrow. So Liz, let's transition to the rising woman, to the woman that's just maybe getting involved, maybe hearing this for the first time, whoever she is, single mom, woman graduating high school, widowed baby boomer, or just, middle-aged woman looking for a better way that's happily married, right? What are some early steps that a woman needs to take in getting her financial house in order and taking the first steps towards financial freedom that you've said that you recommend women take?
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of having a handle on your finances, no matter what your
Yep.
situation is. Whether you're single, obviously it's even more important, right? You're the person. The buck stops with you. When you're in a relationship, people can sometimes give away, I believe, not their power, but they give away the knowledge of finance and the knowledge of where your money is working. I love talking about real estate. I love talking about, we're going to be putting this money into this deal. I was talking to a neighbor the other day and she kind of looked at me a little funny, like, why are we talking about this? But I just got excited about our HELOC that we're doing that and the amount of money we're going to make with it. And I just wanted to share that with somebody. And I'm like, she has no idea what I'm saying right now, but that's okay.
Oh man.
But I think, I think more and more what I would say is that it's a necessity because with our fight with the knowledge of the financial your household, if you will, you're able to have choice and you're able to choose versus being forced to do something. And that's what we want to avoid, especially for women who are going to be potentially and quite honestly outliving in a traditional way partners. Okay. So what can you do? Are you going to go buy an apartment building out of the gate? No, no one should do that, right? That's not even smart to do if you have no knowledge. I think women are super capable. I think women, especially even if you're transitioning from raising the kiddos and now you're like, we see a lot of women, in their 40s, their 50s coming to our community. They raised the kiddos and now this is their business venture and it's exciting and they're like alive and they're doing deals, they're making things happen. And the first step to all that is managing your household, meaning if you don't feel comfortable knowing what your income is and your expenses are, it's a really simple one for your personal residence. It's a great place to start. And I know it could be really scary, Matt. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of vulnerability of getting a handle on your money. Sometimes we'd rather ignore it. I know there've been moments, right? You and I in our journey.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just been easier not to know the number
Yeah.
than to know the number. Because it's like I got to deal with that. I gotta swallow it, right? And there's a lot of shame in that at times for people, especially women. We attach our worth almost to it. And so all I can say is when you're in a safe community and you're really getting a handle on your money, it's just awareness and really getting kind of like your personal household in order. And that's a really powerful way to begin your investing journey. Because if you can manage your household income and expenses and have a handle on it, you'll be able to do that for an investment property. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
You got to know your income and your expenses. How do I increase my income? How do I reduce my expenses in the most simplest way?
Yeah. Well, how do you know what the finish line looks like, right? So like if you're going to try and get out of the rat race, so to speak, and or get enough passive income to at least pay half of your expenses. If you don't know what your expenses are or what nut you need to meet with an investment opportunity or whatever that is, you're playing blind, and I love that. And, sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and it's easier not to, it's easier not to examine your expenses and say line by line, is this necessary? Is that necessary?
But it's the same thing, right? If you're going to lose weight, I use that analogy.
Yeah.
You kind of know, you kind of need to know what your weight is. Right?
Yeah.
It's hard to lose weight.
Hey guys, we might have had a little bit of a blip there. I'm not sure. It'd be cool if we want to try and bring that back in, or if that video hit the end of it. But why don't we try again? Because it might have locked up there. But I think we're in a good conversation. Great interview with Liz. Stick around, guys. Just a minor tech difficulty for the joys of live broadcasts. So Nabeek, see if you can toss it back up there and see if we can get past the lockup. If not, I can just keep rolling. It's okay.
To a weight goal if you don't know where you're starting. And so
Right. It takes courage to get on the scale that first time.
It takes courage. And that's
Right.
why we've all been there. That kind of sinking feeling like, I need to get a handle on this because of the future. My future self needs me to get a handle on this. And we've made some tough financial decisions, Matt. We've lost money.
Yeah,
We've
well,
had really dark moments. And I would say is that the more and more you can detach from your decisions, you're not your money, you're not your decisions. You're much bigger than that. I
yeah,
think it's really important mindset in this process because there's a lot of emotions tied into money, what we've been taught about money, what we feel about money. It's a big one, right?
yeah.
Money is at the core of investing. So that's a very important kind of relationship you have to work on is your relationship to
Well,
money.
this is sticking with the weight loss analogy, right? Or just and with what makes investors so special is that if I wanted to go lose 10 pounds, there's 100,000 million books on this, right?
Yeah.
On what to
And
do. I
podcasts.
can watch
Yeah.
all the YouTube videos I want and listen to
Figure it
podcasts
out.
on it or whatnot. But it is proven those that lose weight either have got a accountability partner or are going to go to the Weight Watchers meeting a couple blocks down the street from their house and have this thing called a community. And that
Yeah.
could be people that just clap for me when I go in there and say, hey guys, I lost 2 pounds this week, right? And I ate right all week and I counted my calories and I did it. Or it can give me a hug. I'm like, man, I gained 5 pounds over Thanksgiving. Can you believe that? Or I fell off the wagon, whatever it is. Community is really that glue that makes goals and efforts happen. And that's why that's why I think what the most beautiful thing about InvestHER is the community you've created.
One step forward, Matt, if I could just say, is it's community with like-minded people
Yes.
that are like you. You have commonality and that are playing at the same level. A lot of the women in our community have property. They are investing. They built other businesses. These are the women that are in our and if they're more professionally minded or they've been home with the kiddos, they have so much to give. They're savvy, and these aren't people who are just waking up, oh, I should do this. Like these are go-getters, right?
Yeah.
And so I think when you join communities, to your point, it's about do I want to surround myself with these people? And what we embody with our community is that it's holistic. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter and leveraging other people so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. Things get done with more access, more speed. That's why we've created our mentorship program.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've created a conference. That's why it's a network. So if you want to go invest in St. Louis or California or
Yeah.
Jersey,
Wherever
you
or
can
one of the other 60 cities that InvestHER has meetups and things
you
like
can
that.
tap. I mean, one of
Yeah.
our just quick story. We had a woman in our Strive mentorship program. She wanted to invest out of state, was a little nervous. We connected her to the meetup leader in St. Louis, Megan, and they got connected. She then connected this member of ours to the rest of her network. So she was able to buy the property, get the right appraisal, like just the whole team was like this one connection to the rest. And she closed on that property. It's one of her highest income producing properties.
That's great.
I don't say that to boast anyone or anything. It's called like focus network with the
Yes.
right embodied mission and what we're all up to. So.
Yeah. Love it. So Liz, you mentioned InvestHERCon, which is like nothing. It was like no other conference anybody's ever been to. It's beyond a conference. It's an experience. I mean, it is like nothing else I've ever seen. And I've been lucky enough to attend multiple InvestHERCons. So you've got an InvestHERCon coming up just in a week from now down in Austin. Tell us a little bit about those that are attending, what they should expect, and those that maybe are considering attending, why they might want to consider clearing their calendar for just a little bit of time from now to attend InvestHERCon.
Here's what I'll tell you: the things that women have told me. That because of the conference, they met their next business partner and they're growing a portfolio together.
Mm.
Because of our conference, they've been able to get the confidence they needed to take that next step in their business. Because of InvestHERCon, they met that next company so they can save time and money on their property management that's costing them so much time currently. I mean, I can keep going on the long list of outcomes that have come from InvestHERCon. It's not just about the knowledge, it's about the community, right? And so this is very much a transformational experience. This is not like another traditional boring conference. People come in, they come out, no one knows you're there. Women sit in circles, they sit in tables. So they're already connected. We do a lot of pairing, a lot of sharing, a lot of journaling. One of my favorite sessions, and this is why our conference is different than others, is that they get a deal to analyze. And we have Anna Kelly, a good friend and very well known in our space of syndication and multifamily. She'll be leading this session about, okay, you got this one deal. How can we creatively finance this deal? And she's not going to be teaching it or sharing it. She'll be giving her input because she's a master at all of that. But the women at the tables will be workshopping this and then getting on the mic and saying, this is how I'd approach this deal. This is how I do this deal. No, I wouldn't do it that way. It is one of my favorite sessions of our conference because it's a workshop atmosphere versus talking to people. And that's what most of our sessions are. We have 30 speakers. We have, Kim Kiyosaki coming back to talking about reinventing yourself. We have Kathy Fecky talking about how do you thrive right now in this economy. Her daughter is going to be joining her to talk about international investing. Really excited about that. Sally Krawchuk is kicking off the conference. She is the co-founder of Ellevest, and it's the largest platform for women who are doing stock trading. So we have a very holistic and diverse group of speakers. Yes, core real estate investing topics and alternative investing, how to buy a business, how to really diversify so that you can also set yourself up for your financial future. So I can keep going, but we have some really cool networking, very mindful networking exercises that Andres and I are going to be helping the women through, whether it be network with each other, connecting with each other, and really in real time, finding the next person that they need to help them grow their business. I don't know many conferences that are doing that. It's 3 days, 30 speakers at a beautiful Omni Barton Creek in Austin, Texas, June 2nd to 4th. If I believe that whatever you invest in, you should get 10 times the value. And you do one deal, you find one partner, you find one contact. I don't know. This pays for itself 10 times over.
You find one community that gives you the courage to take the next steps. You find that person that's been a few steps down the road than you have, and that's enough right there sometimes. So June 2nd through June 4th, guys, all the way down in beautiful Austin, Texas. Yours truly will be there for just a little bit. And Liz, you've been kind enough to create a coupon code for the DeRosa followers here for us on YouTube and Facebook and for all the communities for DeRosa. Could you please and we'll post that here in that. But so this, folks, and I know you only have a few tickets left.
Yeah. I also want to recommend some of the women are bringing their daughters. They're bringing their 16, their 15-year-old daughters. And we see that more and more happening. So I would just encourage that too. I think it's kind of a neat, bring your girlfriend, bring your friend, bring your neighbor. Women create magic together as a group. They just do.
And if you bring your husband, Matt will do a husband babysitting service for them over in the corner. I'll take them and keep them safe for you. You can come and pick up your husband at some point after InvestHER.
But I encourage everyone listening, share this with the women in your life. Share this with the women in your life that may have piqued interest in real estate investing or have a property, or they're at that point in their life. They're just like, I want to create something for myself. That's what this conference is for. So if you go over to investhercon.com, really easy. Our VIP tickets are sold out. We have a few general tickets left. We're kind of in full steam ahead. So if you're going to get a ticket, get it like today.
Go get it.
We're closing things out. But it's the coupon code is IC200. And that gets you $200 off the ticket.
$200 off a ticket. That's impressive. Okay, guys. So listen, don't delay. Use the coupon code down below. And we'll also post all these links in the social media descriptions for this video. Liz, if people would like to either become if you don't be a woman to be a part of the movement that is InvestHER, because as I said before, you could realize that if you're savvy, realize that $20 trillion more could come walking into your door as a vendor, regardless of what your business is, if you learn how to gear your business towards the rising savvy real estate investing or just InvestHER in general woman, right? So that's somebody who should reach out to InvestHER if you want to become a sponsor or a community partner for their space, or if you want to attend InvestHERCon and become a follower. Liz, how do they just join the movement of InvestHER?
Yeah, absolutely. The real estate InvestHER.com is our website, and we have all different types of information. So depending on if you're just looking to join a local meetup, get connected. There's 50 plus meetups across the country. We have events that we do twice a month. The realestateinvesther.com/events. These are free events. We have some phenomenal speakers on. Everyone's welcome to attend that. We have our podcast. We're almost up to 500 podcasts on all different types of topics. And we're just getting started, to really be a space for women and men from the perspective of being part of the solution to, again, we believe it is a woman's birthright to become financially free. So anyone that wants to follow us with that mission of women globally, we welcome you to be part of it. So we have some amazing sponsors who are men-led and who are super supportive of our community as well. So I can't agree with you more about who we're doing this for as women.
No, Liz, on a personal note, I'd love to see the growth of InvestHER. That was really just a podcast, no offense, a podcast hobby that you and Andressa were doing a million years ago. Just, two young moms just looking for something to do to kind of be a voice for women in the community. And it has evolved and grown into this phenomenal juggernaut that is the InvestHER, not just the real estate investor, just InvestHER in that. And I'm really, really happy to see the growth. And
thank you for all the support, right?
You're welcome.
Thank you for all the support.
I'm a different person in knowing the movement of InvestHER InvestHER, because it's given me the eyes of a community that I would not have seen. So they're not my eyes, but I've been able to see the community of the rising woman in that through your community. And I really am grateful for what you've taught me and many of the others out there in the world. So guys, stay tuned for the InvestHER and InvestHER Con. Check out the Real Estate InvestHER show if you want to hear Liz's podcast. Liz, I'd love to have you back on the Cash Flow Digest very soon. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you and appreciate the opportunity.
Guys, as you know, I'm biased to the lovely Liz Faircloth as my lovely wife, but I'm also very proud of the community she's created. And even if it wasn't my wife, I can tell you that the journey of the InvestHER and the necessity of having a community that's there dedicated for the rising investor woman is really, it's evident when you hear a lot of the data that she talked about. I also want to underscore one more thing. Even if you're a man, the rising investor woman is going to be someone you're going to have to be prepared and excited to do business with, because there's a transfer of wealth happening in the US of 20 trillion with a T dollars moving to women over the next couple of years. And that's everything through baby boomers handing down their wealth and for, unfortunately, baby boomer men passing and handing it to their baby boomer spouses. As Liz said, women do live longer than men. Sorry, guys. But it does happen. But there's also a larger and larger swell of rising investor women coming into the community. So if you are a vendor or looking for more business partners, the likelihood of your customer being a woman is higher and higher each day. And so I think that the way for us to stay effective as real estate investors is to be prepared to deal with everyone and maybe even learn the language or learn what matters to people, because I can tell you what matters to the rising woman investor may not be the same thing that matters to other investors as well. So that's it. Great conversation. Hope you guys get to check out Real Estate InvestHER podcast, and also check out the Real Estate InvestHER show on Spotify. You guys can grab it there. Hundreds of thousands of downloads of that show already. Find out what the buzz is all about. Guys, that is what I got for you for the Cash Flow Digest today, I believe. I don't think I've got anything else in the hopper. So I think we'll just go ahead and get out of here and let you guys enjoy your Fridays and have y'all self a great weekend. Like I said, don't forget to register for our DeRosa Income Fund webinar. I want to see all you guys there with bells on next Friday to talk about the DeRosa Income Fund and why it is such a phenomenal cash flowing vehicle and like nothing else you've ever seen. This is not just some debt fund that's out there paying a flat rate of return like other debt funds are. This fund pays upside to our investors as well, as a very high preferred return of 8%. So if you're an accredited investor, I would love to see you on next week's webinar on Friday. So we'll see you there. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, community. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.